I always pick the listings that's actually sold and went through the transactions, and even some bungalow style older homes. So we will look at those as well. There is no condo fees. This is where things do start to get a little more interesting as we get into that high 600,000. If school is of importance to you, this neighborhood has to be on your priority. There is plenty of options within this very neighborhood, and that's another reason why many families do like this neighborhood over several other neighbors here in Kitchener-Waterloo. So you have been thinking of moving to Kitchener, Ontario, and if you're a buyer with the budget of 600,000 to 700,000, then stick around, because right here in this video, I'm going to walk you through your options in various parts of Kitchener, ranging all the way from low 600,000 leading up to the 700,000. That will give you a really good idea as to what you can find in that price point. So stay tuned as we get right into it. And just before I go to my first stop, that's gonna be the low 600,000. It's a condo town community, which I'll show you in a moment as I drive there. But I did want to show you around this neighborhood. What you see, that building right there, that's the Activa Sportsplex. It's a City of Kitchener facility, more like a community center, multi-activity recreation center, you can call it. And right behind me on this side, that's the school, the St. Mary's High School. That's right here in this neighborhood. But this is a rather established neighborhood filled with amenities, everything that's close by to you. And even accessing 401 from this neighborhood will not be too bad. We are in the Country Hills East area of Kitchener, Ontario. So we're kind of somewhere in the middle of Kitchener, if you were to think about east and west. But that's where we are. My first stop is literally 2 minutes from where I am right now. But the reason I wanted to stop here is to show you guys how close you are if you were to live somewhere here in Kitchener to all the major amenities, and especially if you are a young family with kids, well, this recreation center will come pretty handy for your day-to-day activities for kids and different sports and stuff like that. And you know, this area is also filled with lots of green and nature. So if you are a hiker or just, you know, enjoy being around in nature like myself, then definitely you will like this neighborhood, and I could say any part of Kitchener, Ontario. So without further ado, I'm gonna head to my first stop. That's gonna be the low 600,000, the condo town that's recently sold. So stay tuned and let's dive right in. Alright, so I'm at my first stop here, and just before we dive right in, if this is your first time to the channel, be sure to subscribe and tap on that bell so you are the first to learn about the current market in and around Kitchener-Waterloo. My name is Dixit. I'm a local real estate agent serving Kitchener, Waterloo and surrounding communities. I've helped many families. Majority of my clients are first-time home buyers who are moving from outside of the Waterloo region, and I absolutely love helping them. So whether you're thinking of moving in 9 days or 9 months, be sure to reach out. You can give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, or even schedule a Zoom call. I'll be more than happy to help you and family make a smooth move in and around KWC. All right, so now let's move on to the fun stuff here. Let me show you guys the home that's recently sold in this very condo town community for 627,000. This is the one that you see right behind me. That's the one. It's an interior unit condominium townhome sold for 627,000 about 10 days ago. The reason I picked the homes that I've actually sold is to give you an idea of what is actually sold for, rather what is listed for, because it could sell for higher or slightly lower, depends on how and what price it is listed at. So that's why I always pick the listings that's actually sold and went through the transaction. So you know that's basically the market value as of today's market, which is late summer, early fall of 2024. Now, just look at this. To give you an idea about this home, we are looking at 3-bedroom, 2.5 washrooms, so 2 full and 1 half washroom. It does have a finished basement. Above ground, you're looking at about 1,100 square feet of living space. Below ground in the basement, another 500, roughly 500 to 600 square feet of finished living space. So in total, including the basement, you are looking at about 16 to 1,700 square feet of total living space. This whole community has been built in 2011, so it's not that old. This is why I picked this particular home, because majority of my first-time home buyers have this very similar criteria where they don't want something too old. They want ideally minimum a 3-bedroom, 2.5 washroom, preferably 2 full washroom is always a preference, especially with young families with kids or growing families. So that's why this would be an ideal fit. And like I said, sold for $627. Now, just keep in mind, there is a condominium fee. As I said, it is a condo town community. So there is a monthly condo fee, which is $310 for this particular community. It does not cover anything interior or related to the home, but it does cover the common area maintenance. You see this visitors parking right here, and where I'm walking, the sidewalk right behind me. So that's all covered. The common area maintenance, you see some landscaping of common areas during summer months, and now the winter approaches. So they will do the snow removal in all these common areas, so you can easily go in and out of the home during those winter months. So that's $310 a month. Honestly, in this low 600 price point, if that's your high number, then you would definitely have to stick with something with the condo fee. But what I do want to show you as we go into the mid and high 600, that's where your options do open up into more so like, freehold townhome and even some bungalow style older homes. So we will look at those as well to give you guys a hands-on perspective. But like I said, it's a very interesting price point, 600 to 700, and you will see how things change as we go into mid to high 600,000. So stay tuned, but this was a good glimpse of what you can find for low 600,000, especially if you're not looking for like a condo apartment. I do feel like something like this could be a great option for someone looking for a starter home. So stay tuned. I'm gonna head to the second stop. I'll show you a glimpse of this neighborhood. So stay tuned and let's get right into it. All right, so we are at the second stop here, and the home that I'm about to show you, in fact, you can see it just right behind me. Take a look at it. That's the one in the corner. It's a corner lot, semi-detached home in the Country Hills West neighborhood that sold for $650,000 just about a week ago in August, okay? Now, here's the thing. You know how I mentioned earlier, your options will change as you go from low to mid and high 600,000. This is exactly what I meant. That home that you see, first of all, it's a semi-detached, so obviously it is a freehold. There is no condo fees, and you are in mid 600,000, 650 exact. And it's still a 3-bedroom. You have 2 full washroom. Very well kept home if you look at the pictures. Flooring is updated, kitchen is new. This is a 1996 build, but I can tell you, if you were to walk in and do the showing, it won't seem like that old. And that's why, again, many of my clients who reach out to me say, I don't want to buy anything older than 20 years. Well, here's what I can tell you. I have seen a lot of issues in the homes as old as 2 years old because, unfortunately nowadays, in my personal opinion, builders don't build things the way they used to. The quality of construction has kind of gone down. So a lot of homes built in the 90s and 80s have definitely stronger bones, I would say. And this is a good example of that. 1996 built, still not that old if you ask me, about 32 years. What is it, 32 or, well, 28 years. But nonetheless, like less than 30 years old, semi-detached, and it's a great option. But if you are someone looking for rather not that old, then yeah, you could go with something like a condo town. That would be your best bet in this price range. But if you want something newer and have to go with something freehold, then you will definitely have to extend your budget to maybe high 6 into the low 7s. To tell you about this neighborhood, it's still a very established neighborhood. Everything is very much close by. In fact, there is still some new development happening by Activa Homes in this very same neighborhood. But everything you need on a day-to-day basis, including even the highway if you are a commuter, I can tell you Highway 401 from here through Homer Watson is going to be about 5 to 6 minute drive. So a very nice suburban quiet neighborhood while being very close to every major amenity you need to live and raise a family. So that's the mid 600 here in Kitchener, Ontario. As of, like I said, late summer, early fall, you can see some leaves flying through around me. I'm not sure if you can, but we're pretty much at the end of the summer here, so that's what it is. I'm gonna show you around this neighborhood and you will get a hang of what I mean. You will not find a lot of newer construction. Majority of the construction is into the 90s, at the most early 2000, nothing after that, but that will give you a good glimpse. You will find a lot of bungalow style and split level homes in this neighborhood, while there are a bunch of semis as well, but majority is detached. So stay tuned, and I'm gonna see you at my third stop. That's gonna be the high 600,000. So let's get right into it. All right, so I'm at the third stop here, and this is where things do start to get a little more interesting as we get into that high 600,000. The home I'm about to show you is the one that sold recently in early August for $670,000. And you can actually see it right behind me. That's the interior townhome that you see. It's a two-story freehold townhome and sold, like I said, early August for $670,000. You're looking at 3-bedroom, 1.5 washroom. So it has 1 full and 1 half washroom, and it does have a finished basement. So above ground, you're looking at just under 1,200 square feet of living space. And then you have about just around 450 square feet of finished basement. In total, you're looking about 16 to 1,700 square feet of total living space. We are now on the western end of Kitchener, a little bit further west. This is Laurentian West, Williamsburg. That's the neighborhood we are in. And although they haven't mentioned the exact age of this home, I can tell you majority of this neighborhood that you see around me is built around the early 2000s. So this is going to be in the 2002 or 2004, somewhere around that. But if you ask me, like, you know how I mentioned earlier, as you get into high 600, definitely you can aim for completely freehold. That's what you should be looking for. And somewhere between 20 to 25 years of age, around 12 to 1,400 square feet is what you will find. Like, this is one option. Then I had a client of mine who bought some similar home in Huron Park, which is a little bit further west. And that was, again, somewhere around 1,350 square feet. So 12 to 1,400 square feet is what you can aim for into this high 600,000. And yes, a freehold townhome, 2-story townhomes. The other option that you can aim for, if you say, I want a rather detached home within the very similar price range, then you can always look at a bungalow style older homes. But that's where you will have to be a bit more flexible with the age of real estate, because the bungalow style homes I'm referring to, they will be more so built into the 80s and the 90s, maybe even 70s. So that's where you will have to settle with an older construction, but you will find a decent sized bungalow style homes located on a decent sized lots of about, 4 to 5,000 square feet in some of the rather established neighborhoods. So depends on who you ask and what your specific needs are for you and family. Based on that, definitely in the high 600, you can find plenty of those options, whether you're looking for something like a freehold town, or if you are even looking for a detached home. So, and of course, the semi we saw, that's another example, made to high 600. Well, there are a few other semis you could find with a little bit bigger living space and lot size. So those are your options as you go into the high 6. One thing I do want to mention, if school is of importance to you, this neighborhood, Williamsburg, has to be on your priority if you have kids going to the elementary schools, because we have Williamsburg Public School that falls within this neighborhood. That's the elementary school, which is highly rated across Kitchener and the Waterloo region. So that's one of the primary reasons why many young families live in this neighborhood. And that's where you will find, in terms of the dynamics and the demographics in this particular neighborhood, lots of young families with kids going to elementary or middle school. But like I said, the Williamsburg Public School has to be on your radar if you're looking for one of the best schools in Kitchener, Ontario. So that's a little bit about it. I'm gonna head to the third stop, but before that, I will show you around this neighborhood. What you will find is majority of 2-story construction. You will not find any bungalow style homes. As I said, majority of the construction is the early 2000s. So you'll find 2-story homes, both the townhomes, and a good chunk of those smaller detached, like single garage detached around 1,500 square feet. And of course, we have some double garage detached, as you see right behind me as I'm walking here. But that's what you will find right here in this neighborhood. So stay tuned and let's get into the final stop, and that's gonna be the 700,000. So if you are looking for something in that range, you won't be disappointed. I'll show you an option in exactly at 700,000. Stay tuned and let's get right into it. All right, so we are at the final stop here, and I'm in the Huron Park neighborhood. I'll tell you a little bit about this great neighborhood, and many people, especially the first-time homebuyers, fall in love with this neighborhood for a few reasons. I'll get into that very shortly, but before that, let me show you the house that's recently sold like 3 weeks ago for 700,000. When you see right behind me, not the end unit, but the interior unit, two-story townhome, close to 1,400 square feet of above ground living space, and you do have a finished basement offering additional 550 square feet. So just under 2,000 square feet of total living space is what you are looking at in this two-story townhome, which is obviously freehold, and it's a 2011 built. So majority of Huron Park you will find into the early 2000s, and to the point where there is still some new construction happening right within this neighborhood by a few builders. So this townhome that I just showed you is 3-bedroom. It's total of 4 washrooms, so 2 full and 2 half washroom. They have a powder room on the main floor and another 2-piece washroom in the basement. So it's a great townhome. In the pictures, it doesn't show as great because it's vacant, not staged. But I've been there inside the home, and I can tell you it shows well. It could use some cleanup and stuff, but it's still a move-in ready starter home for any first-time home buyers. In $700,000 in the Huron Park neighborhood, something that's less than 15 years old, I think it's a good option for sure. And this is the neighborhood that's appealing a lot of people moving from GTA and a lot of first-time home buyers. I personally have helped many families move in this neighborhood because the diversity and the depth of real estate options you find here, whether you are working with a price range of $600,000 all the way to $1.5 million, there is plenty of options within this very neighborhood. And also, majority of the construction, like I said, started in the early 2000s to the present day. So you will not find a lot of older construction, but your options are still plenty, whatever your budget or price point may be. And in fact, I've actually done a whole video featuring this neighborhood to tell you everything you need to know about this neighborhood. So feel free to check it out on my channel. It's the Huron Park neighborhood we are talking about, and you will find and learn more about this particular neighborhood in case you are interested. But what you will find is a lot of young and growing families. There's like a community center, there's like a park, there's an RBJ Schlegel Park, which is right here in this neighborhood. That's actually our go-to park, even though I don't live in this neighborhood. Such a nice park, brand new. There's a splash pad, there's a pickleball court, there's even a soccer field. They even have a cricket pitch there. So lots of fun stuff in one of the newest park. Pretty happening neighborhood overall, and that's, I feel like, part of the reason why many young and growing families do fall in love with this neighborhood. I mean, you know, you saw those townhomes on the other hand. Now look at these detached homes, right? And that's what I'm talking about. You saw the home for $700,000, and these are in higher than $1 million. So the diversity and the options you get for real estate in this neighborhood is just fascinating right here in Huron Park. So, and obviously all the major amenities, you're very close to everything, including highways, day-to-day shopping. There's even an Indian grocery that's very close from here. And even if you have to access bigger shopping malls like Fairview Park Mall, all those things are very close by from this neighborhood. And that's another reason why many families do like this neighborhood over several other neighbors here in Kitchener-Waterloo. So that pretty much is a wrap to this video. I hope now you have far better understanding about your options for real estate here in Kitchener from $600,000 to the $700,000 price point. I am going to do another video very shortly covering $700,000 to $800,000 price point and what you can find in that range. So in case you are someone wondering, or if you're working with that price point, be sure to subscribe and tap on that bell so you are the first to get notified about it when that new video pops out. And whether you think you're moving in 9 days or 9 months, be sure to reach out. All the info is right below in the description. I'll be more than happy to help you and family make a smooth move in and around KWC. Until next time, well, I do hope to show you around town.